Stage one of the 2025 Tour de France, and it was a chaotic and thrilling start to this year's great race. So here's my reaction to the 2025 Grand Depart. I'm Cadel Evans, and I'll be playing Cadel Evans in the new stage play, Cadel Lungs on Legs, premiering at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe on July 31st. Well, that certainly did not disappoint. Stage one lived up to the hype and some, and it was much more than a quiet ride to the sprint finish. Let me tell you, there were twists, there were turns, some tactical riding. They had to face the elements. The wind was brutal today, and some category climbs in there as well, and some cobblestones and crashes. It was all happening in stage one, in the beautiful surrounds of Lille, where they started and finished. And it was great to see the French crowds out in the masses today. I'll put a clip here of the crowds just going absolutely crazy, no doubt filling the riders with excitement and nerves as they rode to the finish to start this year's tour. First impression of stage one, pulsating peloton. My God, were they ruthless today. It was something to watch. I mean, the average speed was north of 47, 48 kilometers an hour. They were absolutely grinding and dropping people off the back as they went, as they swallowed these breakaways. I mean, they dropped Simon Yates, who won the Giro d'Italia this year, on a few occasions today, which is kind of amazing to watch. They were really grinding and pushing, and the GC contenders and their teams were stamping their authority on the tour already, which we shouldn't be surprised at, but they certainly did. Absolutely, there were nerves present today. You could see some strange decisions happening, some unfortunate crashes, and some alternative decision-making happening, which we didn't expect, but are not overly surprised to see different things happening in stage one. Okay, so yes, the sprint finish into Lille was a great one. Philipsen got it done in the end. He had a little bit of space, actually. I'm kind of surprised that he was able to pull away from Gourmet the way he did. His team did an excellent job getting him into position. They were there all day, but really you can see them peeling off. I don't know what their plan was in terms of when to get him into position, but it looked like it all went to plan today. And they were the only team that were really organised at the end. They peeled off and let him do the work, and he won by a considerable margin, considering it was a sprint finish. My instinct, actually, if you watch back the footage here, is that you can see Gourmet there on the left side of screen, right up against the barrier, and no doubt he would have been aware of that and the nerves that come along with being close to the barrier. I mean, we've seen some big crashes and sprint finishes at the barriers before, and perhaps he lost a bit of confidence and speed and fire in the legs being that close to the barrier, and by that point it's too late because Philipsen was ahead and was not going to be caught. So for Philipsen, this is his 10th stage win at the Tour de France, an impressive feat, and I suspect more to come this tour given the form that he showed today. It's also the first time he took yellow, which is a thing that we witness in our show on the stage, seeing Cadel get yellow for the first time, which he did in 2008. And he spoke in the press conference after, saying that that was a really proud moment for him and that he'll put that on the wall in his house, which was nice to see. A genuine response from a guy that's been working really hard, has had an interrupted start to this season, but clearly his legs are in a good place because he sprinted away to victory today, and a great reward for him and his team to take yellow. However, I will say that going into stage two, I think my prediction is that he will pass the yellow on to his teammate. We'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting stage tomorrow. He could keep it in theory, but my expectation is that Van der Poel will take it off him tomorrow. I want to talk about the second category climb that the peloton went through today. There were two breakaway riders that were fighting for those points at the top of the climb. And a very bizarre moment. I'm going to show the footage here as they came across the cobblestones to the top of the climb, and it's Thomas and Vercher. They broke away for points and then crashed in very bizarre circumstances. The commentators on the coverage that I was watching actually said that it was an embarrassing crash. I mean, I think you can see what he obviously got caught on there on the road, but sometimes you're going so hard and potentially not paying attention to the cobblestones and the divots in the road. And he took out his competitor there, and they, after that climb, were engulfed by the peloton pretty quickly. Another thing I want to point out today is Visma Leasebike at the front of the peloton for a lot of the day. Jonas Vingegaard stamping his authority, I think, a little bit on the peloton. He led the peloton with his team, but also by himself on a few occasions today, knowing he wasn't going to win the stage, most likely. But I think there's a little bit of ego and bravado about him sitting at the front of the peloton. We know he's coming in for this tour, by all accounts, with very fresh legs and trying to knock off Poggi. And I think there's a little bit of mind games about that today, potentially sitting at the front of the peloton saying, here I am, my team's good, I'm in a good position. We know Visma Lease Bike's an incredibly strong team and definitely could carry him to victory in Paris. But there was a little bit of mind games, I think, and I liked this. I like the here I am, I'm at the front of the peloton, I'm doing the work, I'm in good nick. And we know that Cadel rode at the front of the peloton and the front of breakaways to catch up in 2011 on multiple occasions to save his tour. So there's a little bit of Cadel about Jonas, and I enjoyed watching him sit at the front in a somewhat passive stage for Poggi. I mean, it has to be said that he was in the right position. He stayed in that front group. He didn't lose any time to Jonas. And did all the right things and probably didn't expend as much energy. So a smart stage from Poggi, but it does look like it's going to be the two of them going the distance, because they did drop some other contenders. Evenepoel and Roglic, noticeably, were dropped. They couldn't keep up with that front group, and to lose, 30 seconds in stage one for a GC contender doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence for Evenepoel and for Roglic. So it does look like a two-horse race. Obviously, it's only stage one, and this is stage one and an early crow, but that is my thoughts on the GC for today. Very sad and disappointed to see Ben O'Connor of Australia crash. I'd obviously predicted that he sits on the podium for the GC. He was inside the sprint zone, by all reports, which for today's stage was inside 5 kilometers instead of 3. So hopefully he's okay and is able to continue. We saw a few people have to retire, a few riders have to retire today, one due to concussion on Geraint Thomas's team, actually. So Ben O'Connor did crash, but was right near the end, and I'm hoping for the Australians out there that Ben is okay and can give this tour a real crack. We know he's had bad luck with injury before. So that is my recap of stage one. A thrilling one. I'm excited for stage two. I think there could be a change of yellow tomorrow, so stay tuned, and we'll see you back here on the Cadel the Play social media. Thanks to our sponsors, BMC Switzerland, who you can see the BMC team machine with the Tudor team, and Wahoo Sports with all those trainers that the riders are warming up and cooling down on. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Connor Dolls. Thanks for watching.